the help we can get. By we, I mean writers such as myself. It can be a solitary thing, but unlike writing novels, it's something where ultimately it's going to be a huge group effort with a huge crew. And so even at the writing stage, you're thinking about how all those people are going to interface, and mainly you're thinking about having the best script possible. And I find it always helps to have a sounding board or look at how other people have done it. It's a difficult thing. It's a lot of people think, oh, well, it's just a movie as opposed, or a TV series as opposed to a book. You realize in a book, you get to say what everybody's thinking, what everything looks like. In screenwriting, we have to convey all of that just by words and activity on screen. So I think it always helps to get other points of view. You know, some people love writing, some people love analyzing systems. I happen to like both of those. So I've combined them. I've spent a lot of time thinking about how to come up with a process by which we can analyze a script or a story and just pinpoint its flaws and find out a way to make it everything it needs to be. So in a sense, the lecture I do, this masterclass, is kind of, it's how to hack the storytelling process, if you will. Break it down, figuring out where and how to make it all you want it to be. So not so much a how-to. There's a lot of people with how-to classes and how-to books out there. Mine is sort of a method of analysis. And you know, that sounds a little unemotional, but it's kind of the opposite, because the biggest story hack of all is finding a way to mine those emotions out of your story and highlight and convey them. I feel I learned so much from early in my career being a writer on the show Law and Order. And what they hammered into us has never left me. And it's about how to cut that story in the script stage, not in the editing room. And by which that means you skip all the stuff that winds up to get into a scene that you might feel compelled to write, like how people get into the scene and all the things they say, winding up to say what they want to say. On Law and Order, we used to call it a cough. And what that meant is when people talk, they say, look, I got to tell you, or I don't know, I've thought about it. And in real life, people might talk that way, but it's amazing when you take those things out and get right to what you're trying to have people say, it totally energizes a script. Okay, so everybody's thinking, not every series, not everything you're going to write is going to be like Law and Order, which had a very clipped thing. True. But when your story, script, TV series is produced, no matter what the genre is, you're going to find it's better by only using the stuff, the words, the activity, the behavior that you need, and getting rid of the rest. If you say you're doing a story that you want to meander a little bit and be languid, that's fine, but use only the words that steer you in that direction. I find that's an invaluable tip. First advice, everything is helpful in some way. I mean, one of my early mentors who taught me a lot of great stuff gave me one thing that I questioned, which was, he actually told me the opposite of what I just said. He said, you want to end a scene on people walking out of the scene. And I think by which he meant you want to see the aftermath of what's happened in that scene. You want to see people react to it. And I don't know if I agree. I think, there's something we use in writing called a smash cut instead of a cut. You know what I'm talking about, Mark, a smash cut. I mean, boom, you go right to that thing. I kind of think every cut's a smash cut. You just, again, the pacing of a script, the way you're using words and the way you're getting in and out of a scene can really energize it, no matter what the genre is. So I don't really look on anything as bad advice, but when he told me that, I thought, I don't know if I want to linger on the scene. I want to get to the next scene. So let's use all those terms in one sentence. I think showrunner is the writer and the producer who matters the most. Showrunner is the job where you really get to tell the story. Now, sure, you're writing the story. It has to begin with the writing. When you're showrunner, you get to use all the tools. It's not just the words, it's casting and production design and score, everything to tell that story. Now, it has to start with the writing, but here's how I think of it. I write to tell a story, and I become a showrunner to tell the story the way I want to tell it. So either one is rewarding, but I don't think they're the full picture. I think when you put them together, you've got the full picture of using all the tools at your disposal. I've come to know a lot of writers and producers. Germany has long been the second largest market in the West, but now you're really standing up to that level of production. There's so many talented writers and producers making stuff out there. I look at a show like, if you don't mind me mentioning a show, I love the show How to Sell Drugs Online Fast. It's just really, really a good mix of comedy and drama. And a lot of my former students are involved in that. So that's just one to name many. Things have changed so much since I first came to Germany. Now I've been there probably 20 times working on various projects or teaching or producing. It's going to be a terrific class. We're going to look at all different genres. I'm going to talk about my process. And I just love doing this. So I'm still very active as a writer and producer, but I enjoy this part of it too, conveying what I know or what I think I know that's worked to others. So Mark, thank you so much for inviting me to this year's festival.